Hello everybody! In today's video, you'll be joining me on a Las Vegas solo trip, where I recently spent a few days visiting the city's most popular attractions. I also visit a few places you may not have heard of, but that I think will make any solo trip to Las Vegas a lot more interesting. If you're new here, my name is Eden. I'm a travel blogger who runs the blog Rock a Little Travel. I recently started this YouTube channel to share my trips with you and hopefully inspire you to get out there and travel a little more too. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing to my channel and sticking around for a while. Okay, let's get back to Vegas. The first thing I did when I arrived was check into the Nomad Hotel, which is located right on the Strip next to Park MGM. This is not sponsored, but I loved the design of this hotel and found it to be the perfect home base for a solo female traveler. I was immediately impressed by how nice and spacious this room was. A major bonus points for the hardwood floor and large soaking tub. I also like that the restroom area and shower area were completely separate. Also, yes, that is a cast on my left arm. I broke my finger in Mexico a few months ago, but have since had that cast removed. I really like the design and attention to detail of this hotel, and also that this is a smoke-free property, even on the casino floor. The next morning, I got up early and made my way to Mandalay Bay to visit the famous Mandalay Bay Aquarium, which I guess they now call the Shark Reef Aquarium. As you might have guessed, the main attraction here is the Shark Aquarium. I don't know how many sharks they have, but this aquarium is home to a 1.3 million gallon tank, making it one of the largest in North America. The shark tunnel was definitely my favorite part of this experience, and I spent a good amount of time here just enjoying the view. And fair warning, the Mandalay Bay Shark Reef Aquarium isn't as large as you'd expect, so definitely take your time making your way through the various exhibits. My next stop was to the Las Vegas Mob Museum, which I had been wanting to visit for years, but just finally had the opportunity to do so since I was traveling solo. If you're intrigued by organized crime and the history of the mob like I am, you're going to just love this place. The museum spans several floors and takes visitors on a journey through the history of organized crime from its early beginnings to present day. There is some pretty heartbreaking information you'll learn from your visit here, which is obviously to be expected from organized crime, but just a fair warning that some of the content can be graphic and at times just really sad. And if this happens to be your first visit to Vegas, after you leave the Mob Museum, you can walk just up the block to the Fremont Street experience. Fremont Street is lined with casinos and bars and is a much more affordable alternative for drinking and gambling than the Strip. But to be totally honest with you, I don't really enjoy Fremont Street, so I avoid coming here if I can help it, but it's worth seeing if this is your first time in the city. My next stop was Las Vegas's famous Neon Museum. The Neon Museum is home to dozens of vintage neon signs that formerly adorned the entrances of Vegas casinos, hotels, and other establishments. This is an outdoor museum, so I recommend planning your visit for early evening or at night when the sun goes down and the lights come on. If traveling solo like I am, be sure to bring your phone or a camera and a small tripod so you can get some photos while you're here. You'll also want to purchase tickets to the Neon Museum in advance. Entrance to the Neon Museum is by timed entry, so you'll want to purchase tickets beforehand to get the entry time that you like. If you're able to get up early during your Vegas trip, I also recommend stopping by the city's famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign to get a few pictures. The sign is right in the center of Las Vegas Boulevard, and there's even a few parking spots there to make it extra easy to get to. If you're a pinball fan like I am, you definitely don't want to miss a visit to the Pinball Hall of Fame, which is about one block from the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. The Pinball Hall of Fame has about 700 pinball machines you can play, and a visit here makes a great way to spend an afternoon, especially when you're trying to escape the midday heat. I spent the rest of this afternoon exploring the Las Vegas Arts District. Here you'll find dozens of local art galleries, shops, restaurants, and bars. The Arts District has a totally different vibe from the rest of Las Vegas and is a great place to visit if you want to get to know Vegas beyond the casinos on the Strip. As you walk around the Arts District, you'll find lots of cafes with outdoor patios and all kinds of street art, including Snowball the Cat, which was created by a local Las Vegas artist. And be sure to get your picture with Snowball before heading down the street. There's some really colorful murals just down the block. After leaving the Arts District, I made my way over to my favorite Las Vegas bar, which is Frankie's Tiki Room. Frankie's is a Vegas institution, serving tiki-inspired rum cocktails with a noticeably heavy pour. Frankie's is a dark, sometimes smoky bar that's fun to visit just about any time of day. In the evenings, this place gets packed, but the vibe here is always awesome. The next day, I spent a little time exploring the Strip. I started out at New York, New York, lost about $10 in the slot machines, then headed outside to get some pictures before making my way over to Paris Hotel to see the Eiffel Tower and check out some of the restaurants. I eventually headed inside where I lost another $10 in the slot machines, but then stumbled upon this really cute cafe. It happened to be closed at the time, but I am definitely coming back to check this place out. I saved my last day in Vegas for what ended up being the highlight of this trip, which was my visit to Meow Wolf's Omega Mart. Omega Mart is a bit hard to explain, but is described as an interactive, mind-bending, immersive art experience. And whatever you want to call it, I don't know, but I loved it. If you're into artsy stuff or just want to do something really unique while in Vegas, definitely don't miss this. Afterwards, you can explore the rest of Area 15, which is the entertainment district where Omega Mart is located. Area 15 has a bar in the center courtyard area, a couple of restaurants, one of which is very good, and a really impressive candy store. And there's also a bunch of other experiences that you can try out, like axe throwing and some other kind of different crazy things. I ended my Las Vegas solo trip by treating myself to a very fancy dinner back at the Nomad Library restaurant at the hotel that I was staying at. This was a beautiful restaurant with fantastic service, and this pasta was easily the best meal I had in Las Vegas all week. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. In my next video, I'm heading to the Grand Canyon, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to follow along.